Welcome to Power Director Made Simple. This video will show you how to add a title to either the beginning or the ending of your movie creation. So let's jump right into the program. This time we're going to use the sample media files given by Power Director. Click on Media Room, Media Content, and you should see all of the sample files, including some video, music, and pictures. Let's pretend our movie is going to be about skateboarding. First, click on the first skateboard video file called Skateboard01 and drag it down to the beginning of track 1. Next, click on Skateboard02 and drag it down to track 1. Notice that each of those files, as shown in the library resource window, now have a green check mark on them to indicate that they are in use on the timeline. Now look at the timeline and notice that those two video clips only take up a small portion of the entire timeline. Let's use the button to view the entire video, and now notice both files expand to take up the entire timeline. The videos have not gotten longer. We've just zoomed in on the timeline so that we are looking at nothing but those files. Now let's add a tile. Click on the large T to enter the tile room. Notice in the right side submenu there are choices for My Favorites, All Content, and depending upon which titles are present on your system, you may see other items such as Custom, Downloaded, General, Credits and Scrolls, Vacation and Travel, and many other subjects. Click on the All Content in the resource window will display every title available on your system. Click on any one of them and you'll see it displayed in the large preview window. Some are just stationary text, while others are animated and have some limited graphics on them. Locate the title called Default, as it displays only the words My Title in the stationary text. We're going to drag that title down to the timeline, but first you should be aware that there are two main methods of displaying any title. The first method is to drag it right on top of your existing video on track 1 and release it when it aligns with the beginning of the timeline. You'll see some options for how Power Director should drop the title on top of the video. The first method is overwrite, which will replace the beginning portion of the video. The second method is insert, which will merely place it at the beginning of the movie and move all of the video clips to the right to make room for it. The third method is to insert and move all clips, which would be very similar to the insert mode just mentioned. But if you have any other media files on other tracks that occur later in the timeline, it would move all of those clips the same amount of time that the title takes up, just to keep everything in proper timing. The fourth method is crossfade, which allows title to appear in a fading opacity while not losing any of the video or soundtrack. And the fifth method is to replace, which will replace the video track that it is placed upon. The audio from the replaced video clip will remain. But what would happen if you placed the title at the beginning of a lower track? Let's try it and see. Drag down the default title once again to the beginning of track 2 and hit play or the space bar. Notice that the title appears transparent over the video and only the text appears. This will happen to any of the titles in the resource window that have a black or transparent background. But what if the title does not have a transparent background? Let's try that and see. Drag down any other title that you see in the resource room that appears with a solid color. In the case of a solid background title, you will only see the title itself when the movie is played. PowerDirector, by default, gives a priority to tracks lower down on the timeline. In this case, the title has priority, and we only see it displayed for its duration. The video in track 1 is not seen, but the audio continues to play. So unless you intentionally want to cover up part of your video with a solid title display, you should put the title on the same track using a crossfade method. Both the solid title and the background video appear at the same time, with the solid title slowly fading away. Let's go back to using our plain text on a black transparent background, but customize the text for our skateboard movie. Click on and drag the default title back to track 1 and select crossfade as the method of placing it there. Right-click on the title on track 1. Be careful not to select the crossfade effect, which is added onto the title. Select Edit in Title Designer. A large window will open called Title Designer, showing you selected title in its preview window. At the very top, click on Advanced. Click on the text in the preview window. When you see a red cursor line, hit Ctrl-A to select all, and then hit the Delete key. Now type in skateboarding. Hit Return. Type in a date the video was taken. Hit Return again. And type in a location where the video was taken. Don't worry about the font size just yet. Next, hit Ctrl-A to select all of the text. There are two places where you can control the font and the size. If you now right-click anywhere on the text, a small text adjustment window will open. Along the left side of the entire window is a second area where you can make adjustments to the text. Let's just right-click and drop down the size to 26. Now all of the text can be seen. Hit the drop-down arrow next to the font face and change it to Arial. Hit the white square of color to change it to yellow. But now some of the lines are longer than others, so let's center each line of text. This has to be done in the main adjustment window along the left side. With all of the text selected, click on the Align Center button. If you hover your mouse over any of the dashed lines around the text box, click on it. Then a four-sided arrow will appear, meaning that you can move that text box to any location on the screen. Or you can select the text box and down in the lower right side of the preview window, locate the button which will automatically center the entire text box horizontally and vertically. There are many other attributes in the left side menu that you can assign to this text box, but we'll save those for a future video. When you are satisfied with the location of the text box, click on OK in the lower right. You should now be back in the editing page. Make sure the playhead is back at the beginning and hit the spacebar to play the video. Watch the preview window as your new title appears. Zoom out on the timeline to make some room at the end. Next, locate any of the credits and scroll titles and drag it down to the end of track 1. Just place it at the very end all by itself. If you play the video from there, you'll notice the entire video plays and then the credits roll with no sound. Let's keep the background music playing while the credits are rolling by clicking on the title and dragging it onto the video clip until it aligns with the end. Select Crossfade once again. Now replay the video until it gets towards the very end and you'll see some very jazzy way of showing the titles on top of the video. Finally, click on Produce to create your new video. When the Produce window opens, check your settings. Standard 2D, H.264 AVG, and MPEG-4, United States NTC. Check the file name, and then click on Start. When it's done producing, click the file location and double-click on your new file to run it. Close that window. Click on Back to the Edit. You are now ready to close down PowerDirector. Click No to save any project files for the small demo. And that's it. You're done.